We'll be back shortly after 11:30 Eastern Time, 10:30 Central, for a closer look and a more detailed analysis of tonight's presidential debate. I'm Walter Cronkite, CBS News Election Headquarters in New York.
This is CBS.
Well, the great debate is now over, and coming up next on News Center 8, we'll follow the two candidates live to their reception headquarters, where both will be celebrating victory, of course. We'll go live to the Music Hall debate site, where Judd, Susan, and Dale will have some post-debate interviews. Jim has highlights of the Cavs confrontation tonight, and Dick says it's going to be fair but frosty. News Center 8 is next. Stay with us.
Cleveland's Emmy Award-winning News Center 8 is next with those stories and reports from Mike Cragen and Stan Childress at the candidates' headquarters.
This man sells cars. This man lends the money to buy them. Both are good at their jobs. So when you're going to look for a car, don't shop for the money with a car man. Shop with the money man, Ameritrust. Ameritrust can make you a low-cost auto loan before you shop for your car. And that can probably save you money when you buy your car.
I'm next, Ameritrust.
Let's get something going for you.
We're doing something about it.
We're working at making our energy last.
We're doing something about it. Sunoco is making every drop count.
From deep beneath the ocean to the station across the way.
Sunoco's got the know-how that can help you save today.
Sunoco wants to make every drop count for America. That's why we have a new pump for unleaded gas. It has 4 grades of unleaded. Other companies just have super and regular. But most cars that need high octane can use our plus, priced below our super. And most cars that run on our regular can use our lower priced economy. The right Sunoco grade can save money for you and fuel for America.
We're doing something about it. Sunoco is making every drop count.
Cleveland, you're a winner.
Good evening. I'm Tim Taylor. Thanks for joining us. Here's what's happening. Our historic presidential debate is now history. But 2 hours ago, the drama and excitement in the city of Cleveland reached its peak. Governor Reagan and wife Nancy were greeted by a crowd of well-wishers as they left their hotel for the Music Hall debate site. At just about the same time, President Carter left his hotel. Earlier, several hundred Anderson demonstrators paraded outside Carter's hotel, protesting Anderson's absence from the debate. Police security was very much in evidence to make sure that nothing at all got out of hand. The candidates are about to leave the Music Hall tonight, and Judd and our political reporter Susan Howard are there live.
Okay, thanks, Tim. We've been insulated from the tremendous crowds in and around Public Hall tonight up here in the TV8 Sky booth, but in moving around outside earlier, the atmosphere in downtown Cleveland tonight can only be described as electric.
Oh, it certainly was, and all concentrating on the great debate. We've just seen it, of course, it's now history. Just what impact tonight's debate is going to have on the election next week remains to be seen. But time will tell, because going into this debate, 1 out of every 3 voters still had not decided which presidential candidate he or she preferred.
Susan, one of the barometers the businessmen will use to determine who actually won in their minds tonight's debate is the stock market. If it rises, I think they're going to feel that Reagan won. If it falls, I think they're going to feel that Carter won. I think that's going to be one of the barometers the businessmen, in any event, are going to be using tomorrow.
Judd, the economy was touched on extensively in this debate. Here's a replay of what both men felt about inflation.
Yes, you can lick inflation by increasing productivity and by decreasing the cost of government to the place that we have balanced budgets and are no longer grinding out printing press money flooding the market with it because the government is spending more than it takes in. And my economic plan calls for that.
Governor Reagan's proposal, the Reagan-Kemp-Roth proposal, is one of the most highly inflationary ideas that ever has been presented to the American public. He would actually have to cut government spending by at least $130 billion in order to balance the budget under this ridiculous proposal.
Carter and Reagan on inflation. News Center 8 City Camera reporter Dale Solly is live down on the music hall floor getting reaction to tonight's debate, and we're going to switch down to him live now. Dale?
This is Robert Newman, the Deputy Director of the Democratic National Committee. Our polls have shown, Mr. Newman, up until tonight, that President Carter did not have enough support here in Ohio to carry the state. Did he do anything tonight, in your estimation, to change that?
I think so. We saw a good speech and debate by a good Democratic president, appealing to a Democratic traditional coalition of support that is going to come around. There's a lot of undecided in this country, a lot of undecided in Ohio. I think he made a direct appeal to them. I think that he defined the differences between himself and a conservative Republican opponent, and I think this will bear fruit at the polls.
Very briefly, how did his style play against the easygoing, laid-back, if you will, style of Mr. Reagan?
I think the president showed himself to be authoritative and competent and poised and presidential, and I think these are the things the American people want right now.
You think he won the debate?
I think so. I don't think it's a knockout, but he won on points.
Okay, I'm sure that sentiment is shared at Carter Campaign headquarters downtown. My colleague Mike Cragen is standing by live with that report. Michael?
Well, Dale, we're here at the Boncourt Hotel with an overflow crowd of President Carter's supporters. There might have been even more people here, but somebody gave away too many tickets, and hundreds, perhaps 1,000 people had to be turned away. Those that did get in watched the debate on big screen TV. As you would expect of party loyalists, they cheered the president's remarks. They often hooted at Mr. Reagan's responses, but overall the response was, well, really pretty moderate all the way around. The crowd, as you can see, is now behind me. They're lined up around the podium. They're awaiting the arrival of their hero. The president is due here shortly. When he arrives, we'll be back. My colleague Stan Childress is standing by at a similar reception for Governor Reagan. Stan?
Thank you, Mike. I'm live at Reagan's headquarters, where an excited 1,200 people have just watched this debate. And with me is the Cuyahoga County's top Republican, Bob Hughes. Bob, I'd like to ask you your assessment of Reagan's performance tonight.
Well, I think he just won the election. I think if you take a look and listen to this crowd here, some 2,000 people, and we had to turn 3,000 away, they're giving you the answer. Reagan's the winner.
Bob Hughes, Republican from Cuyahoga County, the Republican chairman here. And we'll be back later on to let you hear from Reagan's running mate, George Bush. And now back to you, Tim.
The fact that tonight's debate could make or break either Carter or Reagan was clearly reinforced by today's results of our exclusive TV8 Cleveland Press poll on the presidential race here in Cuyahoga County. The results when News Center 8 continues.
It's coming your way. 40 railroad cars crammed and jammed with all the spine-tingling thrills and chills. The excitement, laughs, and fantasy of the greatest show on earth. It's the most eye-dazzling spectacle you will ever see. The all-new Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, America's living tradition.
See the greatest show on earth at the Coliseum October 30th through November 9th.
When the winter's worst blizzard hit Red Lodge, Montana, 3 Toros took it on. A 14-inch, 20-inch, and electric start 20. What hit Red Lodge? 3 Toros to help clear away. Haven't you done without a Toro long enough?
Save up to $30 on selected single-stage models.
If it takes shellfish to please the seafood lover in you, Red Lobster's your kind of place. Start with oysters on the half shell, then crack into crab legs or sweet lobster. How about tasty fried scallops or scrumptious shrimp? All kinds of shrimp. You say you just can't decide? How about a combination platter?
Everything we do is for the seafood lover in you. Red Lobster for the seafood lover in you.
The tremendous importance of tonight's presidential debate was clearly pointed up in our exclusive TV8 Cleveland Press poll on how the candidates are running here in Cuyahoga County. The poll showed that although Jimmy Carter was the favorite of Cuyahoga County voters when they were questioned last week, the key factor that became obvious was the large number of undecided voters. Most people, including our pollster Bob Dykes, feel that voters in Cuyahoga County, as well as across the country, were waiting for tonight's debate to decide. And how that 32% perceived tonight's debate will probably decide next week's presidential election. News Center 8 CityCam reporter Dale Solly is live again at Public Hall with more reaction on the debate. Dale?
Tim, this is Bill Brock, the Republican National Chairman, and we'll turn about his fair play. Let me ask you, who won tonight? Obviously, you're going to say Reagan.
Of course he did.
Of course. Our polls show, again, as I asked your counterpart at the Democratic side, our polls show that President Carter doesn't have the strength to carry Ohio. Is tonight going to push Ohio over for Reagan?
I think so, because we talked about the issues that affect Ohio. We talked about jobs. We talked about inflation, the things that are really hurting people in this state, and every state for that matter. And I think the basic purpose of the whole debate was to get these issues out so that people could make their own judgment. And President Carter spent his time attacking Governor Reagan, as he's done throughout the campaign, but he didn't talk about what he's going to do to put people back to work, what he's going to do to stop inflation. And I think that's the basic problem that he's had in the campaign.
How would you assess Mr. the governor's performance tonight? Was he as prepared as President Carter? Did he come through on that end or what?
Yeah, I think he did very well. It was a healthy, fun, I think productive debate.
Okay, thank you. Dale Solly live with the CityCam downtown.
And apparently confident President Carter will be arriving soon at his reception headquarters at Bond Court, and News Center 8's Mike Cragen is standing by with a live report. Mike?
Well, Tim, we're still waiting for the arrival of the president, but we are expecting him here any time now. We hope he gets here shortly while we're still on the air with our regular scheduled newscast. In the meantime, I haven't noticed any dignitaries over here. I think most of them were over next door in the debate itself, but we thought we'd chat with some of these supporters here, some of the people that were pelting me with confetti a little bit earlier, if you saw it. You watched the debate closely tonight, didn't you?
I sure did.
How do you think it went?
Fine, very good, very good.
Who do you think won?
Oh, naturally, Carter.
No doubts in your mind?
Never, just Carter.
How about you? What do you think?
Only Carter.
Didn't some of the things Reagan said make sense?
No way. No way.
Are you all of one mind? You too?
He left me very evasive. I look for him to be a little bit more stronger, but I still say it'll be Carter, definitely.
Okay, good enough. Thanks a lot. Live with the CityCam at the Bond Court, Carter's reception headquarters. Mike Cragen, News Center 8.
Equally enthusiastic supporters are waiting to greet Ronald Reagan at his reception headquarters at Stouffer's Inn on the Square, where News Center 8's Stan Childress is live. Stan?
The crowd is coming now. All of the enthusiasm here. There are at least 1,000 people outside of the hotel, and Reagan, I'm told, will be up here shortly. We will expect Dr. Henry Kissinger and running mate George Bush and many others to be with him. And very shortly, we will come back up here to show you Ronald Reagan entering the hall. This has been a very enthusiastic crowd throughout the night, and they think, quite frankly, that Ronald Reagan clinched the election with his debate performance tonight. And we'll come back shortly.
Away, troops. Well, I think I agree with Bill Brock, what he said just a few moments ago, Susan. I think that it was a fun debate, and I think I feel that the tension in the atmosphere down here, the pressure has all been relieved, and it's obvious that looking at both the headquarters of the candidates there with Mike and Stan, that a great deal of pressure has been relieved, and now everything is happy, and both sides feel that they've won, which is a pretty good position to be in.
Both men campaign daily, Judd. Both men talk to people in huge crowds, but there's nothing like talking to 80 million people over television in a presidential debate. I bet they are so relieved that it's over.
No doubt about it. And we're going to be back with more coverage of the debate and after the debate, right after this.